Sunday morning. Today is Mastermind day, or sort of like my group get together day, right? I'm here early, just having a coffee and getting prepared. And then there's 6 or 7 of us today. And they're all arriving at 10. It's 9:30 now. So I get a moment to myself, a moment to like get clear on what I'm doing, and we'll get on with it. But essentially it's a group of guys sitting around talking. It is Monday morning, and Monday is off to a pretty crazy start. I'm on my way into central London now to have a look at a job. New customer, new projects, so I thought I better go show my face, say hello. I've also been like frantically calling around trying to get some labour for one of our projects in central London. You know, we had all these delays, and now of course who is left to pick up the slack? Us. So, and then the guys, the team of 2 I've got on that job, they are both off on Wednesday. And then I had 2 other jobs to get done this week. So what I did is I broke the team up. So I've got 3 sites simultaneously going on at the moment. And then I've got to get them all back on the same job. The one in Central tomorrow. And then hopefully get an agency guy in to relieve some pressure, because we need more labour on that job. It all comes at once, man. You're either dead or it's manic, and it's trying to deal with that is difficult. Then you've got customers who they just want everything done yesterday. And bearing in mind, on this one particular project, we've been there for weeks, like getting delayed, waiting around for them to get things right. And then all of a sudden it's go. It's high pressure at the moment. Very high pressure. Because I lack systems, and I need systems, right? One of the comments in my last video, when I was talking about Skyline, juggling, all this stuff, one of the comments on the video was like, can you sell Skyline? And I'm not really sure that that's an answer right now, because Skyline is more valuable to me as a cash flow business than it is in terms of its monetary value, which to be honest would probably not be a lot. If it was worth a lot, I probably would sell it. Yeah, I would. I'd sell it and I'd leave the UK. Anyway, let's briefly touch on ID cards. The brick card. All you have to do is say no, right? That is my philosophy. Just no. I'm not doing that. I mean, look, I understand I'm in the position where I own a business and I don't have a job, so it's much easier for me to, perhaps, I don't know, we don't know yet, but it might be much easier for me to do that than anyone else. I saw a video on YouTube yesterday. It was Samuel Leeds put it up, and he was talking about it, and whilst I don't agree with a lot of the stuff he says, I did agree with his point on this, which was, you know, during COVID, when they were like, get the vaccination and put your mask on and do all this. I mean, look, I'll be honest, and this isn't a flex, but I'll be honest, I didn't really do any of it. There were occasions where I put a mask on just for an easy life, but I didn't get vaccinated. I didn't stay in for the lockdown. I went and did whatever I wanted, within reason, right? I respected other people's boundaries if they were uncomfortable, but for the most part I didn't care, and I'm glad I didn't, because it would have been a huge waste of time. I remember getting on flights and going abroad, not wearing a mask. No one really bothered me. Do you know what I mean? I do think that we're in a interesting time, and I think the time we're in, right, is that where we have in the UK, we have very, very weak men trying to control essentially better men. Now, Sadiq Khan and Keir Starmer and all of that lot, they are not my leaders. Do you know what I mean? He might be the Prime Minister. Some idiots voted for him, but he ain't my leader. Do you know what I mean? He ain't my Prime Minister. I don't pay attention to anything that guy says. Have you seen the footage of him hitting the punching bag? Mate, is that the best we can do? I mean, look, I'm not saying that every leader has to be some strong, physically strong, virtuous man, but come on, man. Like, I ain't listening to a word that guy says. And I think we're in a unique time, right, where the stronger, more outspoken men in society need to, and women, right, need to stand up and say enough's enough. No, not doing it. So, and the chances are, right, if you're watching this channel, the chances are you are probably one of those. People will sort of tend to find each other. Now, I'm not saying I am a strong, virtuous man, right? But like, I think that I am a certain type of guy, right? I would describe myself as a bit of a traditional man. I like working. I like being of value. I don't want to be led by weaker people, right? Essentially. So I think that's the point we're at in the UK. We're being led by weak people, and we need to do something about it. So, and I think it only comes down to the stronger men and women, right? So, the same as when the COVID things happened, you know, you had all those people that were like, put your mask on, get your vaccine. Like, we shouldn't be listening to those people in society. We just should not be listening to those people. Like, I don't listen to anyone who I don't deem as, put it this way, I will never take advice from someone who I wouldn't switch places with. If you're more intelligent than I am and you're telling me something, hey, listen, I'm going to listen. If you're more experienced than I am and you're trying to tell me something, hey, I'm going to listen. But if you're like morally corrupt, physically weak, sick and unhealthy, and do you know what I mean? Like, I ain't listening to you. It's a bit of a rant, but I just think we're at that point in time. We are at that point in time now where, you know, they have tried to destroy masculinity to such an extreme. Masculinity has had enough. And I don't talk for all men. Be really interested to hear what you think in the comments below. But like, digital ID cards? Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I was born in the UK and I've lived my whole life in the UK, and I'm a free person, and I won't let anyone take my freedoms away from me. It's as simple as that. And I think the more people adopt that attitude, the better we'll be. And stop listening to the others in society. Oh, just do it. Just take the vaccine. Just do that. No, don't listen to those people. Those people who got us here in the first place, we need to stop listening to them. And I'm not saying like fuck those people. And I'm not saying like, you know, I don't think that division is good. But I am saying like we need to be led by the kind of people who can lead. Not weak people. Not people who think you need a digital ID. Not people who think that you need a fucking vaccine. I don't want to be led by those people. I will not be led by those people. I am waffling on. Anyway, I'm just coming in central now, so... Well, Hammersmith, does that count as central? I'll catch up with you all later. Okay, another site survey done on this one here. Nice project. It's going to be someone's house. Nice big house. Pool in the basement. You know how it is, just behind Harrods. Jumping back in the car now. I've got a call at 1, and then what else have I got on? Call at 1. Oh, and then I've got to go get a load of equipment, get a load of materials.
I'm going to focus on the front end, like mine acquisition.
Yeah.
Come on, mate. Hello. Good luck with it. Speak to you soon.
You too. Speak to you soon, mate.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Been to one supplier to pick up a load of materials, and they had half of what we need. So it's like, okay, I'll take what I can get. And then came to Screwfix to get a load of fixings and stuff, and they don't have what we need in stock. I need to collect it tomorrow. So it's like, we've got all this work to do, can't get any of the materials. Means tomorrow's gonna, like, most of today has been a lot of fucking around, and tomorrow's gonna be even more fucking around. I've had enough. What's happening? Don't look back there. Bit of a mess. It's Tuesday. We did some jiu-jitsu this morning. A load of work stuff. I've been running around. Things have been mad at Skyline, right? And I've been running around doing like collecting materials and doing all sorts of stuff. Multiple phone calls, multiple things. Real headaches at the moment. Anyway, I managed to squeeze in some jiu-jitsu this morning, and I've just ran through my to-do list, and it is now 26. Obviously, I did the event the other day. Do you know what I'm really struggling with at the moment? I'm really struggling with my own goals for the last quarter of this year. So I'll show you, I made a load of notes this morning over coffee, trying to think more about inputs rather than outputs, right? So instead of setting goals that are like, oh, I'm gonna get 500 grand in the pipeline, instead of that, I'm like trying to do like inputs. Okay, what do I have to do in order to, that's the result. What do I have to do? You know, check this or check that, or build this system or build that. And I'm just kind of struggling with how to make those goals really exciting. So like I've been doing all of these notes, right? Like all of these notes on how I'm gonna do it. I've got a couple, right? Like I know for one, for example, is like a health and fitness related one. Like I'm gonna compete twice in the next quarter. I'm gonna compete in jiu-jitsu. I hate competing in jiu-jitsu. I've done it a couple of times. I don't like it, don't enjoy it, but it does ramp up the intensity of my training. And it's also like, because it's something I'm not quite comfortable with, it forces me out of my comfort zone, and it helps my progress, right? So it's an input for an output. So that input I'll improve my jiu-jitsu. So rather than saying get a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, actually, like, what I need to do is improve my jiu-jitsu. The best way to do that is to compete, and by competing, my training intensity will improve, blah blah blah. Struggling. I want to make them excited. I've had some ideas, like, you know, for example, like work related ones, but they're not exciting. I need something that's gonna fire me up, and I ain't got it yet. So I'm gonna give myself a little bit more time. I'm gonna have it by the end of the week. I'll keep you updated. Morning. It is Thursday morning. I am just rushing about because I have got a meeting this morning with a company based in Henley, and they've sent me a Teams invite, which is weird because I thought they wanted me to come to their office. So I need to call the guy, double check. Plus I've got Simon on the phone asking me to call him. And I also want to squeeze in time for a coffee, and I've got a call site manager from another job. And then after that meeting, I've got a free chunk in the day to get some stuff done. Then I thought I had my mediation yesterday, but that's actually today. And then this evening, I've got an event in Oxford. It's my wealth manager is putting on an event in a crypt in Oxford. So me and Harry from the property business are going together. Might be good networking. And also I want to support Tom. So it's quite a busy day. Loads to get done. So let's get on with it. Bosh, that's one meeting done. Luckily the meeting's just up the road, so literally I came in here, got prepared, and then wandered up the road, did the meeting. Then I got back here, jumped on my computer, knocked out a couple of prices for projects which we've been asked to price, and now I'm going back. I've got a few things to do, and it's lunchtime already, so today's just like flying by. I'm trying to pick up the camera when I can, but a lot is just me sat at a computer sending emails or on the phone to people. Anyway, let's crack on. What's up, guys? Can you see me? Does that help? Probably not. Anyway, I'm on my way to Oxford. I've just been on the phone. I would have filmed more of this journey, but I've just been on the phone to one of my guys talking about headache jobs, more headaches, more problems. Yeah, I'm on my way into Oxford because my My wealth manager, Tom, this is super random. My wealth manager, Tom, is putting on an event in a crypt in Oxford. Super weird. I don't know. I got the invite. Have no idea what it's about. But I said I'd go. You never know who you're going to meet at these kinds of things. And I'm also meeting Harry there. Harry from the property business. So we need to have a catch up. And he seemed up for it. Plus, it might be a good place to meet potential investors. Maybe. I don't know. So I'll bring you with me. I don't know how much I'll be able to film, but I'll bring you in anyway. Anyway, this is really super dark, so...
We're thinking about, cloaks, daggers, sacrifices, but, rest assured, we don't do cloaks at Oxford Wealth Management.
That's weird, I know. To meet up in Oxford Crypt to discuss all things financial. This is what happens. This is what rich people are doing. I'm not saying I'm rich, but this is what rich people are doing. They are continuing an education on all things money and markets and all this kind of stuff. It's really interesting. Rich people don't just make money. They make money and then they make money work for them. One of the really interesting things that was mentioned today, one of the things I thought was quite interesting that Tom spoke about was that there's a budget coming up and, they were talking about how does that affect people and all this kind of stuff. And he was like, look, I don't have a crystal ball, but one of the worst things you can do is react to that. The news has always been the news, but generally the markets and all that kind of stuff are all right. And it's interesting, isn't it? Because we all watch the news and we all think that we know what's going on and you just don't. But anyway, it was I enjoyed it and I did a little bit of networking, right? Tried to speak to some people and meet some people. And it was all right. Met some guys who have just started a recruitment agency and other business owners and all this kind of stuff. So it's all good. Anyway, I'm going to go home. It's late. I want to get in bed. I'm tired. I'm not good at being out at this time of night. I'll see you tomorrow. What we're supposed to do here, because I can't carry on absorbing all these extra costs. We're using systems that we weren't in the original scope. I've swallowed them so far, but realistically, I can't keep that much labor on the job. I can't keep installing systems that weren't in the original scope. Yeah, I'm hearing you. All right, mate. We'll speak later. Take it easy, mate. Love it. Sunday, guys. Friday morning. I'm in the office. Just doing some work on, that project. I've been talking about a project that's been a major headache for us. Well, I've just got off the phone to one of the guys that we're subcontracted to there and just said, listen, we're at the point with this project where if you want us to carry on, we need to renegotiate the scope because, we're not making any money. It's crazy. And they just keep putting more and more demands on us. And I'm very I'm a bit of a softie really. If you for people who work for me, I tend to try to be very accommodating, and it gets to the point where I'm over accommodating for people and then picking up their slack. And I basically said, look, we can't do it anymore. We need to renegotiate the scope and the price. And they said, yeah, okay. Because they know that I'm right. Anyway, so I've got to do that again today. Last night was good. Wealth manager, it sounds ridiculous when I say wealth manager, I'm really wealthy. But I started working with Tom as a wealth manager a few years ago now when I first started making some money through my business. And I'm glad I did, because he got me investing, he got me set up with a pension and all this kind of stuff. And if you're making money and you're 30, 40 and you're not paying into a private pension or investing your money in some sort of index or in the markets, then I really recommend doing something like that. Now, I know people take a dim view on financial advice and stuff like that, but from all the research I did, it was very, very beneficial. They did a little bit of talk on history, and then they did a bit of speaking about the pre-budget talking about finances and the markets, and then there was just a few drinks at canapes, right? And I met a couple of other entrepreneurs. It was cool. I like to get around those kinds of people. It is quite interesting what people with money are doing, right? They don't, they are continuing an education in money. And I think that's really interesting, because the rest of us, we make money and then we spend money or we save money. And that's just not how these people do it. They see it as a completely different thing. It's a different game. So it is interesting to be around it and try and pick up and learn what these people are doing. And it also makes you realize how systemic the ignorance is. Why are we not taught this stuff? Well, we know why we're not taught it, right? Because then everyone would be successful, and that would be no good for the workforce. I'm gonna nip to the gym real quick because I haven't done much jiu-jitsu this week at all. It's been a very work heavy week. And I'm gonna come back here, knock together that price and send it off. And then I've got a few other emails and things to do. Getting lots of inquiries at the moment, but Skyline has just been obscenely busy. And it's like, I'm working so much. I'm not used to working this hard. And then everyone on site is working hard as well. So the whole firm, it feels like, is under pressure. But money just comes in and disappears again. We're turning over like good amounts of money, but it just vanishes. Like the cost of materials, like the cost of messing around because logistically things don't work, like materials aren't in like stock, so there's delays, and it's very, very complicated. And then to allow for that, you have to bump your prices up, and then customers complain about it. Work. So if you made it this far in the video, thanks so much. I appreciate you. I tried to pick the camera up as much as I could this week, at least every day, to show you a bit of everything, because I realised in last week's vlog, the week just disappeared and I barely recorded anything. Anyway, I couldn't take you with me last night. I went to see a band last night. I was at Wembley and went to see Parkway Drive, who are like an Australian metal band. It was a really good show, really good, but I didn't get home until late, and then I was with a woman, so I was up till late. I barely slept. Had a bit of a lay-in today. Was supposed to go jiu-jitsu, didn't make it, slept through my alarm. So ended up going to the gym, doing a bit of a like mediocre workout, and then coming out for a cigar and a coffee. So I am cooked, but I've got a busy week coming up. I realised as well, I didn't speak much about the event and the group. It was originally like a mastermind thing, and I set up this mastermind because I wanted like a community that I could use. I wanted to be around like-minded people, right? If you've ever been to a mastermind before, you realise they're not something that is overly repetitive, right? And what was happening is we were meeting up every quarter, this group, and we were getting together every quarter and reviewing our quarters just gone and then setting new goals for the quarter to come. And it became like this really cool rhythm. And at one point it got really busy. The busiest was like 20 plus people at an event. And whilst that was great, it lost a little bit of the intimacy that the earlier events had. Anyway, long story short, it became far less about my mastermind, and it became more about like this group we had, which I actually preferred. I didn't want to be the center of attention like that, right? But I did want to create a cool group. Anyway, I ended up rebranding it, and I've built a plan out for next year. And it's like a group that everyone's involved in called the Syndicate, so it's far less about me. I'll put a link to the Instagram page below. If you're interested in joining, you'll have to send a message to that page because there's like an application process. But it's a really cool thing. All the profits go to charity. Maybe I'll talk about it more in the future, but to be honest, we're kind of keeping it like a small private thing, do you know what I mean? But we will be taking new members if you're interested. So I'm gonna finish smoking this cigar, drink this coffee. By the way, for my cigar guys, I'm smoking it's an El Rey del Mundo Schwa Supreme, one of my favourite cigars. I had a couple of these in the humidor. I haven't been smoking many cigars recently. I've been too busy and there's not been many reasons to celebrate, but it's a nice day, Sunday, and you know what, it's like the start of a new quarter, isn't it? So I'm kind of like bookmarking the quarter, and I did quite well with my goals. So I'm gonna sign off for this week. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I drop 2 videos every week. If you like this video, make sure you leave a like, and I will see you guys all next week. Thanks a lot, guys. See you next time.